Been this for over 50 years. Ours is just about 5-6 years, so we are neat and very soon to be over.
10 days after Shekau's camp was overrun, 2 teenage girls with suicide bombs attacked a camp for displaced people. 5 died, 39 people were injured. Last week, another bombing. 17 people were killed. At this busy roundabout in the centre of Maiduguri, it's easy to believe the authorities' claims that this conflict is in its final phase. But things have been returning to normal in this city for the past 2 years. It's in the areas in the hinterland, the rural regions where things are still desperately insecure. And with the militants still capable of that level of violence, it's hard to see this war ending anytime soon.
Stephanie Hegarty reporting. Now, she is a rising star on the German political stage and has already been dubbed Mini Merkel. Her name is Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer, self-styled as AKK, and has been named as the new Secretary General of the ruling Christian Democratic Union. As an ally and political friend of Chancellor Merkel, it appears she is being groomed as Germany's next president. Melanie Amann, who is an editor at the German weekly Der Spiegel, certainly seems to think that's what's going on.
Yes, I believe that's what we're seeing right now with this change of Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer coming from the Saarland, from the regional government, into on the Berlin stage, means that she has greater ambitions. She gave up her post as head of government in the Saarland, and she gave up her mandate in the regional parliament. So she's basically going to Berlin without any safety net catching her if she falls. So if you take such a leap of faith, then you expect something bigger in the future, I think.
When you talk about the risk that she's taking, it's clearly a calculated risk, and it's possible that conversations have taken place between Mrs. Merkel and the woman who's known widely as AKK. I mean,
That's right.
What can we imagine those conversations have been like?
Well, I believe that Angela Merkel has tested Kramp-Karrenbauer or AKK in the course of the last years, so she knows that she can absolutely confide in her.
And when you look at the role that Mrs. Merkel has played in turning the CDU into the moderate centrist force that it is in German politics today, what in Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer is present already politically that makes her the person who will continue that legacy?
I think both these women share the conviction that their party must remain in the middle, the center of the political spectrum. Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer will certainly pursue Angela Merkel's course of modernizing the party, of keeping moderate voters and not just the conservative core voters that CDU used to lean on. I think that these women agree that there can be no conservative backlash in CDU, because then they will lose women voters, German citizens with a migrant background. So I believe she will continue her course more or less.
And in the context of everything that you've said about the moderate course that AKK is willing to pursue, how does that sit in the context of the anti-immigrant AFD party, which has now, in the most recent national poll, overtaken the centre-left SPD as the second strongest party in the country? How is that relationship going to play itself out?
I think that's the most difficult task for Kramp-Karrenbauer to tackle, because CDU has lost quite a few voters to the right-wing party AFD, which has, like you said, conquered the political spectrum quite impressively. The strategic main question for CDU is, will we try to win these people back by turning back towards more conservative policies, or will we keep following Merkel's course of a moderate or liberal course? And there are many people in CDU who believe that it was a grave mistake of Angela Merkel to have moved the party so far to the left. So Kramp-Karrenbauer's task will be to convince these people to stay on course without losing that support. And I'm not sure she has a strategy for this yet, but she will certainly have a better contact with this kind of electorate, because she herself is a bit more conservative than Merkel. I think she has an open ear and an open mind for these people, maybe more than Merkel, who seemed in the past to be also fed up and annoyed by these right-wingers and not wanting to grant them any ground.
That was Melanie Amann, an editor at the German weekly Der Spiegel, talking to us about Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer, the new Secretary General of the ruling CDU, and a name clearly to watch. Now look at what's coming up here on the BBC World Service.
After NewsHour today, BBC World Hacks discusses donating old drugs to help other people.
The next most obvious solution might be well try to redistribute these medicines through the existing chains of high street pharmacies.
And that's followed by a World Business Report. Looking ahead now to Wednesday at 13:30 GMT, when you can hear the last in the current series of My Perfect Country.
We're giving the stage over to you so that you can say how you think our country is shaping up.
And Discovery asks why being lazy could actually be the ultimate evolutionary strategy.
Sloths and tortoises are of course famous for their leisurely lifestyles, but as I discovered, other seemingly industrious creatures have cottoned on to the benefits of a bit of downtime.
You can hear more at bbcworldservice.com/discovery. Now it's back to Razia Iqbal and NewsHour.
And a reminder of our top story this hour. Russian and Syrian government forces are continuing their bombardment of the besieged rebel enclave of Eastern Ghouta. The United Nations has warned of a second Aleppo. Faris Shahabi is an MP from Aleppo. He told NewsHour that the strikes were aimed at liberating Eastern Ghouta from terror groups.
We are talking about infantry liberation of our land in Eastern Ghouta. We cannot let these Saudi-backed terror groups, among which is Nusra, which is Al-Qaeda, still in Eastern Ghouta, threatening us, threatening our capital, and threatening our civilians in Eastern Ghouta, many of which, these civilians, the overwhelming majority of them, are with us. They are telling us, when are you going to liberate us?
That's Faris Shahabi. One other headline. Russia now says dozens of its citizens were killed or wounded in US airstrikes in Syria earlier this month. This is Razia Iqbal with NewsHour from the BBC World Service. Now, solar power usually conjures images of vistas of panels pumping out clean power, a green alternative to dirty old coal and gas. But solar has another trick. It can also be small scale and easily deployed in out-of-the-way places, reaching beyond the grasp of conventional. But just how remote can solar go? Justin Rolat joined a team of engineers on an epic winter trek to a remote corner of the Himalayas to see solar delivering power to communities cut off from the rest of the world.
Oh my goodness. It is really, really cold. So at night it goes down to about minus 29. Now it's about minus 15, so we've come down to the ice on the river, and the guys are loading up the sledges.
There's a huge team, 28 of us, 18 porters, all solar panels, batteries, and the rest of the kit on sledges. We've got an 8-day, 140-kilometre trek up the frozen Zanskar River ahead of us.
In winter, the passes are blocked by snow, but for 4 or 5 weeks, the river freezes and it becomes a highway, the only way to get to the remote villages.
There's a welcome party waiting when we finally reach our destination. About 50 people live in Hanamore village. It's 4 houses huddled under steep cliffs. In a small but blissfully warm room, Stans in Chonzum struggles to cook by the flickering light of a traditional oil lamp.
These traditional lights are not portable from one room to another, and they don't cover enough area for the children to read. It also causes pollution. If we had solar power, it would be much better for us.
The next morning, the team from Global Himalayan Expedition gets to work. But wiring a village in sub-zero temperatures isn't